So we are in the middle of two eclipses. We just had a new moon eclipse happen in the sign of Leo on August 12th. And then on August 28th, we will have a full moon eclipse in the sign of Pisces. So eclipses do not hit everybody the same. There are different things going on depending what happens in your personal chart. So this is my personal chart with the transit chart on the outside. So I have my moon sign and my Chiron. Moon is your emotional world. This is your intimate personal side, and Chiron is your deepest wound. So both of those things reside in the sign of Leo for me. This new moon eclipse just happened in the sign of Leo at 20 degrees. My Chiron's at 18 degrees. That's only 2 degrees apart. I felt this new moon for sure. I felt this eclipse for sure. I literally came back to my hometown a couple of weeks ago and have had a really intense conversation with my mom about all of this stuff. And also Jupiter is over here, Mercury is right here, a couple of degrees away from my moon sign. So this is me thinking about these emotions, how I want to relay these emotions, how I want to address this deepest wound, how all of these things affect my second house, which is money, resources, finances, security, safety, stability, self-worth, all of those kinds of things. Jupiter is here expanding all of this emotional inner world. Leo rules the heart. Every zodiac sign has a body part that it rules over. Leo's is the heart. I literally passed out the other day while I was doing stretches in the middle of this eclipse portal. And it was just really interesting to observe what's going on in the astrology and realizing that my heart was affected by what's happening here in my emotional world, in my deepest wound, and it is all being brought up to the surface and ended up just cutting off blood flow to my head for a second, right? So that's just an interesting thing about astrology and how it can show up differently for everyone. If you don't have prominent Leo placements or the degrees aren't close to what's going on here, you aren't going to feel this as strongly. And we have another eclipse in 2 weeks, and that's in the sign of Pisces. So the eclipses happen in 1.5-year cycles. So we have these things called nodes, north and south node. The south node is right here and north node is up here. It was just in Pisces and Virgo for the last 1.5 years. It entered sometime in January 2025 is when it entered there. So it is moving into Leo and Aquarius, and it's going to be teetering there for a little bit as it gets ready to take this on for the next 1.5 years. The south node is all about us letting go of things or moving away from the shadow side of whatever sign it's in and moving towards the light side of whatever sign the north node is in. So the eclipses follow the nodes. For the last 1.5 years, all of the eclipses were happening in the sign of Pisces and Virgo. And that means that we were learning how to move away from the shadow side of Virgo, which is ruminating and needing to know every single detail and having it be perfect before we do anything. And moving into the high side of Pisces, which is understanding trust and faith and moving forward from an inner knowing. So that was what was on display. And depending on what house in your chart it falls in, it's going to hit your life differently, right? So now we have the eclipses for the next 1.5 years happening in Leo and Aquarius. So we're going to be moving away from things like pedestaling people, gurus, needing somebody to, lead from a false sense of self. So we're going to be kind of embracing a sense of community with individuality and needing more sense of innovation within that instead of just relying on somebody to be the light. Leo's the sun, right? So yeah, let me know what you think about this in the comments below, or if you have any questions or anything to add to this theory, or if you have prominent Leo placements, let me know how this eclipse showed up for you in the comments. If you want to book a personal reading, they're available on my website. I also have a e-guide that you can purchase to learn just the language of astrology. What are all these signs? What does all this stuff mean? What are all the terms that you hear me using in here? And I do have a course online, which I just realized the video is not working, so I've been trying to recover it, but I will probably just have to re-record it, but that will be up later this week, and you can purchase that as well. So yeah, have a great day. Enjoy the eclipse.